The king sits in Dunfermline town, drinking the blood-red wine. Oh, where will I get a skeely skipper to sail this new ship o' mine? Some of the ballads are quite long, but nevertheless, in their own way, they're quite minimalist. They don't go flowery on you. This poem is called Auld Alliance. My dochter wad a Frenchman, and gaed a thort the fame, to bide then on in a fremit land, our for frae hame. I tint her skin like new fawn snaw, I tint her slay dark hair, I tint her quaint and wise-like wise, my heart baith boss and sair. Come hame, dear lass, frae our bye, and bring your guid man tea. Fetch your bonny bairnies hame across the water to me. Sakes, mither, hame is our here in douce green Picardy, among the swaying poplar trees and the wheat in the wide meady. So I kirtled up my woolen gown and made a lang journey to see what kind of gate they gaed in yon far country. I found them all in canty wise, I found their spirits high, I found a thrang and vaunty core, and I found mair forby. I came upon the rudes o' my ain folk our there, in graveyards streaching to the trim, in yon landscape wide and fair. Mither, stay here and bide wi' us. You're old, your pow is grey. Bide wi' your dochter's bonny bairns in this trig country. See noo I speak a fremit lied, and gang a different way. My bairns' bairns rinnin in the sun, my ain folk in the Clyde. When this lassie went away to France, I thought, oh, I miss that wee darling, she's not here, and she doesn't say, oh, Mum, you know, do such and such. I thought, the ache was there, had been there, and just put it into words. It's just, the ingredients were all in the bowl. I just put some water in and mixed it up. I love the Scots lines. I feel it's in a state of flux at the moment. It has gone through a great change, and I feel some of the strong, old, cruthy nouns that were used frequently are only ever used in inverted commas today. I feel it's like a wheat field that's been cut down to a great extent, and there's a lot of stubble left, and it makes quite a nice shape, and it's got a certain colour to it, but it's not as fulsome as it was at one time. All these other influences have come in, you know, very much the influence of standard English from the television, a lot of Americanisms, a lot of slang words. It's a wee series of poems called Tales for the Clarkens, and I have made them up. Mm-hmm. But I thought to myself, the test will be, because when I used to go back up home to Ayrshire, people would tell me stories, and I would think to myself, do they know what good storytellers they are? Does it just come naturally, or what is it about them? So I wrote this wee series of poems, and I thought, to pass muster, they must go down well with folk up there, and they quite liked them, so I was quite pleased. Tip Logie stayed up the old dyke side. We had brothers and her mither. On Wednesdays they come with their caird into the toon together. The men bocht graith and grain and flour, the mither meat for Sunday. But Tib looked lang at the muslin frock. in Jenny Murdoch's windy. "Come on now, Tib," her brothers cried. "Come on now," cried her Minnie. Sae laith, Tib sklinked on the sugary cart to gang hame to Auchin Binny. June came wi' gowans white, the fields were full of flowers. Young Tib ran barefoot on the hill through summer's golden hours. The back end changed the woods to flame, the purple sleighs were lowing, in all the hedges by the road red itchy coos were growing. But winter came wi' icy breath, yet rattled in the wind. Baith men and beasts got bedded down to the booming in the lum. And all through January the storm reared wild and sair beturn. Breed was scant, and yeast and milk, and Tib grew thin and wan. Then spring fell to, wi' grasses green, the sun come back again. But all too late, for sad to say, the bonny quine was gane. They pit her in the best they had, her Minnie's tears were bitter. My bonny Tib in my waddin frock, I never thought 'twould fit her. On summer nights at gloaming time, and mony's the yin has seen her, a bonny lass in a soft white gown gaes by on the brae at evening. Her hair is lint on the moveless air, her fit falls quaint as ony. They say, and nae mistake of all, it's surely Tibby Logie. I think it's a very, very strong language. It's also a glamorous language, and I mean that in the literal sense of the word glomery. It can deal with things that are slightly out of this world, into the world of fantasy or fear, or the world of ghosts or superstitions or dreads, all these kinds of things. I think Scots deals very well with those kind of concepts. I think it deals well with anger because it's quite guttural, and it's also good, and this I'm slightly nervous about, it's also good for humour, but I think sometimes the old music hall humour which was delivered in Scots did us all quite a disservice because it reached a wider audience. People thought, oh, that is Scots, whereas it was only a very, very small part of it. A Christmas poem. A cold winter's night, starring heich in the lift, a lass wi' a bairnie, a hint a snowdrift. Come in through the byre, step o'er the straw, draw ben to the fire, afore the day daw. The bairnie will sleep by the peat's puttering flame. Oor warmen place, lassie, this night is your hame. Come morning, the snow showed nae footprints at all, though the lass with the bairnie had slipped awa. And we minded another, a lang while afore, wi' a bairn in her arms, and the beasts round the door. I had an idea for a poem and wrote it in English, and then, while I was still in the mood, wrote it in Scots, not word for word, but the same feelings. I think the Scots version would have it. I think. Half hour fi Aberdour, 'tis 50 fathoms deep, and there lies good Sir Patrick Spence, with the Scots lords at his feet.